In order to determine if data is a function, the rule is that your x's cannot repeat. Now, if I relate that to real life, what I always tell my students is, in real life, it's never a good idea to date an x. If you date an x, your relationship will probably not be functional. So repeating x's is not functional. So x's cannot repeat. So let's look at this table. And we're going to look in the x column and see if we have any x's that repeat. We do not, so we know that this one is a function. Now let's look at the second one and see if any x's repeat over here. I have 1, 2, 1. So right here I can already see that my x's have repeated. So no, that table is not a function. But what happens if we're looking at a graph? You can kind of tell that x's repeat, but it's a little bit harder to just think about it by looking at numbers. So we use what's called the vertical line test. And the vertical line test is really just seeing what x's are repeating. If your graph crosses the vertical line twice, it's not a function. So let's look here. On this first one, if I start looking and drawing little vertical lines down my graph, it never touches the graph more than one time. So the very first one, graph A, is a function. But on graph B, when I start drawing my vertical lines, notice that it hits my graph twice. So no, not a function. It failed the vertical line test. And then same on graph C. If I draw a vertical line, it hits the graph twice and it fails the vertical line test, so it's not a function.